Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. It's cricket time now. The Windies' long wait for a first-ever Test match win in Sri Lanka continues after Craig Brathwaite's team fell to a 187-run defeat to the host in the first Test in Galle earlier on Thursday. They set 348 for victory. The Windies at least showed some fight, rallying from 18 for 6 to be bowled out for 160. Nkrumah Bonner 68 and Joshua De Silva 54 put on 100 for the 7th wicket. Opener Dimuth Karunaratne was named man of the match for his scores of 147 in the first innings and 83 not out in the second innings. Well, George, the Windies, they got no practice before the match as the rain washed out their lone warm-up game. Is this a reasonable excuse for the poor showing?
I think it is a credible point to make when talking about what it is that they could not do in terms of playing to their optimum, because you would understand traveling from some of the players left from the UAE and Oman to go to Sri Lanka, which is not a difficult haul, but other players left from this part of the world to go there. So you'd have had players coming from different parts to assemble there. So there was no time to really go through the gears. So some players coming from the T20 format and a quick switch back to Test cricket, they would have loved a chance to limber up, loved to Jason Holder, Gabriel and so forth, would have loved to get a few overs under their belts. The batsmen would have loved to have felt bat on ball as they went through their pierces with wicket-keeper ball coming into through gloves. And maybe something is to be said about not getting that experience on time out in the middle and the performance. But the reason it can't be advanced as a credible explanation or credible point for their poor performance is that the manner of the performance, the margin of defeat, and the overall disappointment that came with everything is consistent with the West Indies on tour. What happened in Bangladesh was an anomaly as far as I'm concerned, and not even I, the numbers don't lie. If you look at the West Indies performance on overseas test tours, it shows you what's happening. So I'm saying that what happened in Bangladesh where they won the series is anomalous, it was an anomaly. And what we saw in Sri Lanka in that first test is typical West Indies overseas. So I don't know even if they had practice, if the performances and the results would be different. But at the same time, any team would benefit from having a chance to stay in the middle for 2-3 days in a warm-up match before a big test match.
Yeah, and as you're making those points, George, I like to think about things, even sometimes put myself in the player's shoe. I mean, I've never been in their shoes, so to imagine would be very difficult. But I can probably go from the experiences that my sister would give me from time to time. And I'm wondering if the bubble life as well is affecting these players, because to perform, you have to be mentally ready. You have to be in a certain mental space, psych yourself up and get ready to deliver. So apart from the fact that they haven't practiced, and this is just me trying to think what else could have gone wrong, maybe the bubble life, which players have spoken about from time to time, they've tweeted about it, they've posted about it, saying that, it isn't an easy road. We've been in this pandemic for a very long time. It seems it's never ending. It's something we have to adapt to. So maybe that as well would have played a factor.
I appreciate you trying to find something credible to advance as another important reason for the Windies' poor performance. But I'd say to you that since the WHO declared COVID a pandemic, March 12, 2020, every cricketer across the world has been playing in a bubble. There has been no cricket league where it has been business as usual pre-COVID. So everybody has been in the bubble situation. And if the bubble situation was to have an inhibiting effect on performance, then how come the Sri Lankan boys, who the Sri Lankans expected to perform, actually performed in this test? Karunaratne with his runs, Mendes with his wicket taking. Karunaratne is on course to break the record for the most consecutive 50-plus scores in test cricket. So I'm saying that, yes, bubble life is tough. And we can only imagine how tough it is because we've never had to perform at a high level in a bubble because our work is different. But I'm just saying that it has affected cricketers everywhere for every test playing nation. And so I'm sorry, I can't endorse that one for the West Indies as a credible reason for their feeble showing in this first test.
Yeah, and as we get ready to wrap, there were a couple of performances that were positive, but at the end of the day, we have to remember that cricket is a team sport, and one player picking up 5 wickets, so just 2, staying between the wickets is test cricket. You have to bat for a long period of time. It just doesn't cut it anymore.
Yep.
All right, let's take a short break and come back. Don't go anywhere.